So we're going to start obviously with chapter 1, and if everybody can see, the first question: business decisions may be made by interpreting a statistical analysis of the variables of the process associated with the decision, or by using instinct and insight derived from experience with the business process. When might a decision be made by these latter, more unstructured techniques? So that is referring to making a decision by using instinct and or insight derived from experience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a poll, and what I'd like everybody to do is choose from A, B, C, and D, and then we'll go over the answers. Okay, so I believe the poll is up there, so people please figure out which ones you're going to use: A, B, C, or D, or 1, 2, 3, 4. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, and D is 4. So there are currently 7 people, or sorry, 6 people. I'd like to see 6 answers. Okay. So far we have 2 responses, 3 responses. Okay, 2 more people, please pick your choice of what you think your answer is. Brenda, can you make a choice from the questions? Can you hear me, Brenda? Make your choice. I want to make sure everybody responds, and so we can go over the answers in case some people are not fully aware of what the answer should be, or the most appropriate answer. Brenda, are you there? Can you make a choice? Okay. So make your response. Okay. Can you indicate that on the poll, or you don't have access to the poll? Oh, you don't? Okay. Well, I'm gonna make a suggestion about maybe going out and coming back in. Anyways, okay. Oh, you got it. Okay. Just indicate your choice. Oh, that's why. All right, maybe it doesn't work on the phone. Okay, so let's go through these. So, Tony, you're the only person that chose A. Can you tell us why you chose A? You can either use your microphone or you can put it in chat. Tony, why did you choose A? You don't understand the question clearly. Oh, so it was just a random pick. And Wellington the same. Okay. John, why did you pick B as your answer? It's a guess. Okay, people, you got to look at your chapters. You got to review this for the final. Roshani, what about you? Was this a guess? Was your answer a guess, Roshani? Yes. Has anybody not guessed? Okay, sounds like everybody guessed at these. All right.
No, I do not guess because if we go with gut feeling, it's not gonna work in statistic and business world. So they cannot be A, B, or either D. So it's
Okay.
gotta be C.
Okay. All right. And that's Amir, right?
This is Amir.
Okay. All right. So let's go through this. So, A, instinct or insight is always used in decision making. Okay. I can tell you that when you're using statistics, you only gain insight by doing the analysis. And instinct is not reliable. I don't think anybody's done a reliability test on whether instinct is used. Instinct is a part of statistics. Well, let's see what the answers are. Okay, I'm going to just click here. And hopefully, and it doesn't seem to work. There you go. That's nice. Whoop. Not sure what happened there. Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, it doesn't seem to like that because we're, anyways, variables associated with the business process cannot be measured. Well, that's not true because you can measure the variables associated with business process. And D, the business process on which a decision is made is unknown. Okay, that could be true. So let's look at the answer. Yeah, I know. It has a hyperlink when I created it, so I'm not sure why. Anyways, you know what? I'm going to try something to see if I can share this on the screen. Maybe it'll work better. Doesn't like that. Okay. So let me go. I've got it up. And you know what? I don't know. It won't work that way. Okay. All right. I don't know if you hear that. That's supposed to be a bomb. That was for answer A. And this isn't working too well. Answer B is also incorrect. Oh, this is going to be. Okay, so answer C is correct. So while this might be true for some decision makers or some types of decisions, business managers generally make decisions based on facts derived from statistical analysis. Okay. I apologize. I don't know why it's not working, but anyway, so it was C. But again, as I pointed out in the announcement, you can look at this on your own. Their PowerPoint shows. So you double click on and you can look at the show and interact with the test. Okay, question 2. One advantage of using statistics to aid decision making is that this method does not require a lot of experience with the business process about which a decision is made. So let me, get to the poll. And I'll just, question 2. Okay, so 1 will be true and 2 will be false. And if you can indicate what your answer is, so yes is true and false is no. So if you can indicate your responses. Can't select. Oh, that's nice. Okay, try it now. Somebody responded. Okay, people are responding. Not my error. Okay. Marissa and Brenda. Marissa, if you can answer. Okay. Oh, interesting. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a total split. Okay. Would someone like to tell why they think the answer is true? And then I'll get somebody to answer why they think it's false. So anybody want to answer why it's true? If you don't, I'll just pick somebody's name.
I would say statistic is more about numbers, and it is not about experience in the past. So you are looking at the numbers right now, and you're gonna make a decision about the numbers. So the experience and the past experience is not gonna help about business or statistics.
Okay. Now somebody who said false. Would somebody like to say something about that? It's false because stats can also be used in non-business. But that's not the question, John. It says this method does not require a lot of experience with the business process. Is that true or not true? Read the question carefully. Brenda, you said false. Oh, Song, you think we need the business experience in our statistics or research. Okay. But who said that was false? Who said it was false? Marissa? Why did you say it was false? You have a reason? Marissa, are you there? Okay. All right. So, since it was basically split, okay, this is the correct answer. Statisticians might not need to know a lot about the business process from which the data is derived, but it might help to interpret the results of the analysis. Like Amir, you are correct. Obviously, it's numbers. So if you're going to do statistical analysis, you certainly can do the analysis and you can interpret the results based on the numbers. However, if you don't have some business knowledge, you can't go any further. If you don't have an understanding of business, then you can certainly get the results, but it's the interpretation. So is that clear? Does anybody have a question about that? No questions? All right.
So this
Yeah,
question is true, right?
yeah, it's true.
Okay.
Yeah. However, when it comes to interpretation, it's good to have some knowledge of the area. Okay, it doesn't matter what the area is. Here we're talking about business. Does everybody get that? Okay. All right. Which of the following exhibits the correct relationship between variables and values? And I'll just do 4 here. And if people want to indicate which one they think is correct. Remember, indicate which one you believe is correct. Brissa, John, Roshani. Brissa and John, can you choose which one? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 4? Okay, Noah, can you choose which one you think is correct? Yeah, I got yours, John. Noah and Brissa. Okay, this is kind of split. Interesting. All right. So Brissa, can you explain why you chose number 1? Does it exhibit a relationship between a variable and its value? Or how does number 1 exhibit a relationship between variable and value? Brissa? You can use your messaging. You don't have to use the microphone if you don't want to. Have you got an answer, Brissa? Are you still there, Brissa? Okay, well, Brissa, come on. This is a participatory session. So we want to know why you said number 1. You have a response. All right, well, think about it. John or Roshani, why did you say number 2? If one of you can answer. I know, I'm asking the people who chose 2, John. Oh, sorry, John Ramos, I apologize. John or Roshani, why did you choose 2? Nobody wants to say anything. Okay. Amir, Noah, or Song? Or Tony, sorry. Does anybody want to say something about number 3?
I believe so. I believe the color of the cars define the price of the cars. So
But wait. Okay, which one is the variable and which one is the value?
so the variable is color and the price is and the value is price.
Okay. Why? Okay, why is the car a value? Can you figure that out?
Because we define that as a price of the car. Because
You didn't say price, because what does number 3 say? What does number 3 say?
it says color of an automobile and price of an automobile.
Okay, where's the price in there?
That's not there.
Exactly. Okay, so you just answered the question that number 3 is not correct.
Okay, yeah, got it. So it is
Okay.
4. Yeah, it is 4.
Wait. Okay. And Amir and Brenda and John Tran and Wellington, you said number 4. So can one of you say why you think it's number 4?
In my opinion, red is a variable, and 23,000 is the value, a variable of color, red, and
Okay.
value because it's a price.
Okay. Okay. Now, this is very, what should I say? A very subtle point in statistics, but it's a very important point. Okay. Red is not a variable. Color of automobile is a variable. Do you understand the difference there? Does everybody understand that? Because it's very important. Okay, Wellington, no, you don't understand it. So if I say, if I gave you a list of cars with their prices and their colors, multiple, okay, then color, like blue, belongs to color, right? It's a category. Green belongs to color. Red cannot be the variable. It is a subset of the color. Do you understand that? Okay. This is the part about, and I'm going to emphasize it again, especially when you are going to do the exam. You've got to read the questions really carefully. Okay? It may, from your perspective, because you don't have experience, a lot of experience doing statistical analysis, a variable, think of variable as a category. Okay? And in this case, it's color. That's the category. So there are many colors, but it belongs to the color variable. Does anybody not understand that? Everybody gets that. Okay? So the actually correct answer is number one. Okay? Red is the value, well, price of the automobile, sorry, is the variable. Okay? Although that's incorrect. Red is the variable and the price is the value. Okay? Very subtle points here. I know sometimes it's difficult. Okay, so let's go to the next one. And please, if you have questions, please ask. All right. So, a statistics professor surveys the students in her class and finds that 20% are sophomores, which are people who are in their second year or second semester, and 45% are juniors, which are people are in their third year. This is an example of nominal data, inferential statistics, descriptive statistics, or secondary data. So let me put on the poll here. Okay. And why is it not going there? Oh, it doesn't seem to like that. All right. Sorry about that. I don't use this very often, obviously. Oh God, oh God. Oh dear. Sorry, I didn't end the other one, that's why. Okay, so if you can indicate which one you think it is. 1, nominal data. 2, inferential statistics. 3, descriptive statistics. 4, secondary data. Okay, we still have 4 people that have not responded. Please respond. John Tran and Noah. And Noah, if something happened with Noah. Okay. All right. So 3 people said number 1, nominal data. Can somebody say why they think it's nominal? Now it's only 2 people. Okay. So Tony or Wellington, why do you think this is nominal data? What is nominal data?
I answer, but I think I'll change because like now I'm trying to answer that because nominal data, like you normally use simpler measure, so that's why I choose 1, but I think it's not correct.
What do you think it is?
3, descriptive statistic.
Okay. All right. And the other 2 who chose 1, Brenda and Tony, you still think it's nominal data? Okay. And why is that, Tony? Brenda, why do you think it's that? It labels students as sophomores and juniors, right? So it's categorizing them. Is that what you're saying? Yes? No? Okay. Sorry. All right. That wasn't for you two. Okay. Nobody said number 2, inferential statistics. Can somebody explain why it's not inferential statistics? What is inferential statistics? Anyone? What is an inference? When you make an inference, what are you doing? No one knows what you do when you do. People, this is from chapter 1. You make an inference based on some kind of data or experience. Okay, John, but we're talking about what is inferential statistics, not what descriptive are. All right. So I have some data. I've done something to the data. So I make an inference. Is that what is happening in the description here? Is it happening in the description here, or yes or no? It is happening? How did I analyze the data, Amir? Where am I analyzing it? The professor says there's 20% are sophomores and whatever the other number was, 45% are juniors. We are not what? What are you saying, Amir? Right, Brenda. You're making conclusions based on some kind of analysis. This is not a conclusion. This is not an analysis, right? Okay. Brissa, sorry. Roshani, you said number 3. Why do you think it's number 3? Are you there, Roshani? Yes, why did you say number 3? Can you tell me why you said number 3? Brenda, why did you say number 3? Must be a reason, unless you just sort of picked it. Okay, John Tran, why did you pick number 3? Are you hearing me, people? Yeah, I know. Now explain it again to everybody. Right. Okay. The person is categorizing. They're saying, okay, 20% are second year, 45% are third year. It's just describing the data, right? Okay. And Amir, why did you say it was secondary data? What is the definition of secondary data? Amir, are you there?
Yeah, I am still here.
Okay, so what is secondary data?
I believe it is secondary data because it is collected by someone else.
No, that is not what secondary data is. Secondary data is when you go, it's sort of by somebody else, but what you're doing is you're collecting the data yourself. It is not from the primary source of which you are referencing. So you're basically sort of replicating what somebody did. In this case, this is not secondary data. This is primary data. But that's not one of the options. Do you understand the difference?
Yes, yes, I do.
You're sure? Okay. All right. So the correct answer is number 3, descriptive statistics. Okay. Any questions about that one? All right. We'll go to the next one. Okay. Data are collected, summarized, and analyzed, and a decision is made based on instinct. This is a typical use of statistics, true or false. So let me put up the poll. And you decide whether that's true or not true. True is yes, false is no. And read it carefully. Remember. Okay, Brenda and Noah, can you please put in a response? Okay, Noah, what's your response to this? Can you hear me? Yes is true, no is false. Noah, what's your response to this? Yes or no? Are you still in the session, Noah? Nope, Noah is not in the session. Okay, so I have 7 votes, and everyone said no, and everyone is correct. Okay, so can someone say why this statement? Data are collected, summarized, and analyzed, and a decision is made based on instinct. This is a typical use of statistics. And why is it not based on instinct, Brenda?
I think it's because like when you analyze and understand all the data collected, you do not go to instincts. You know, you have data, you have like a technique to use, so you don't need to use the instinct.
Exactly.
You can prove, you know.
Right. It's based on the results of a data analysis. as Brenda has pointed out, because why would you use instinct if you've done a data analysis? This doesn't make any sense. Okay, so everybody is correct on that one. Good job. All right, so let's go to the next one. Data from, excuse me, from a collection of samples may be used to draw conclusions about an entire population from which the sample data are drawn. Is that true or is that false? Okay, let me just put up the poll. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Okay, so here's the poll. If you answer this, question 6, data from a collection of samples may be used to draw conclusions about an entire population from which the sample data are drawn. Okay, John Tran, Amir. Just read what it says. Don't interpret anything. Assume that it is an appropriate sample. All right. So, Tony, you said no. You're the only person that said no. Okay. Why is this false? Why is the statement false? Wrong click. Okay. Be careful. So you meant yes. All right. So, okay. So everybody is correct. Drawing conclusions about a population from samples is the basis of inferential statistics. All right. Now, Amir asked a question about is it an appropriate sample? We're not talking about that. But theoretically, when you have a sample and it is the appropriate size, you are able to infer the results to the general population. Okay, very good. Everybody got that. All right. Okay. So, number 7, which of the following does not represent one method to obtain primary source data? Conducting an experiment, making observations, sending a survey to customers, or number 4, looking in professional magazines. So let me put up the poll. No. All right. So you decide which one does not represent one method to obtain primary source data. Brenda, can you vote? Okay. Okay. Unanimous. 6 people said looking in a professional magazine. And can someone explain why that is not one method to obtain primary source? There's your audience. Okay, what does that mean, John? That's not explaining why it's not a primary source. Why is it not a primary source? Anybody? Okay, what's the definition of a secondary source? Because it was not in PowerPoint? No, that's not what a secondary source is. A secondary source is when someone has already done an analysis and you are getting it, usually from a journal article, because that was a secondary source. Okay. And Tony says secondary is collected by someone other than the user. Right? Okay. So you're relying on some other data that you were not personally collecting. Okay. But everybody is correct in that. All right. Very good. All right. Let's go to the next one. Okay. The grades that a random sample of MBA students received over the last 5 years of international business classes represent what statistical concept? The grades are a statistic, the grades are a sample, the grades are a parameter, the grades are a population. So let me get the polling thing. All right, so make your choices. Okay, Amir, Brenda, and John Tran, make your choices. Brenda, can you make your choice? Okay, great. All right. So nobody said number 4. The grades are a population. Can you explain why the grades are not a population? Pretty easy. Well, okay, John, right. It's not representing the whole population, which would be all the MBA students in 5 years. All right. So 3 people said number 1. Brenda, can you tell me why you said number 1? The grades are a statistic. Brenda? Why are grades a statistic? You can put it in the chat. You don't have to speak. You don't have to use your microphone. Roshani?
In my
Sorry.
opinion, the grade statistic because they receive a sample and then now they need to analyze the sample to make a conclusion or something like that. So what make this is a statistic.
Okay, but what is the definition of a statistic, Wellington? Okay.
A statistic is the science that use data collection or something
No,
like
no,
that.
no, 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 no. Okay, you're getting confused. This is not
Yeah.
statistics. Statistic refers to the population. Okay? So are the grades representative of the population? Or sorry, are the grades the population in this case?
They are a sample, right? From a
They are,
population.
they are not a statistic because you would have all the grades of all the students over the 5 years. That's a statistic.
Okay.
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 And the grades are a sample. That's number 2. Okay. Tony? No, Brenda, these questions are not going to be on the, I don't know. I can't remember. So Tony, why did you say number 2? But it's already been said. Tony or John Tran? You said number 2? Okay, it's picked from all the MBA students. That's why it's a sample? What is the definition of a sample, Tony? Anybody? What is the definition of a sample? It is, but also what is its relationship to the population? Right. You're getting it from a fraction of the population or a proportion from the population. Okay? An appropriate proportion. Okay? In this case. And Amir or Noah, can you explain why you think it's number 3? The grades are a parameter. Either of you, can you say why you picked number 3?
I would say the parameter because basically grades classifying the students on put them in the order like A, B, C, or D, or F. So so
And what is
if you put it in simple word, grades are put students in the categories. Like some students get A, like
Yeah.
above 90, or they get B, like 80, between 80 and 90, and like and you can get a grasp of how students are doing and how they are doing during the international business classes that
Okay.
we had.
Okay. But that is not what a parameter is. If you were going to have the grades as a parameter, you would have every single grade from every single student because a parameter is a measurement of the population. Okay?
So parameter is not going to apply in
A parameter
sample.
is a measurement of from the population. You're only taking a sample of grades. So in this situation, the grades are not a parameter. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Does everybody understand that? I know sometimes the words, you're not familiar with these words. Statistics and parameters refer to the population, and the sample obviously is a portion of the population. Okay? You know, when we talk about big X, big X bar, or the mean of big X, that's the mean of the population. When you talk about little x with a bar, that's the sample. All right? Okay. Any questions about this particular question? No? All right. We'll move on. So, number 9, data from a collection of samples. Yeah. Yes, Wellington. Data from a collection of samples may be used to draw conclusions about an entire population from which the sample data are drawn. True or false? Let me do the polling. Okay, so 1 is true and 2 is false. Okay, that means everybody got it all correct. Let me see who's not voting here. Brenda, can you vote? 1 is true, 2 is false. All right, okay. So, John Tran, why is this statement false? John, why did you choose 2? Okay, John, you have to read the question carefully. Data from a collection of samples. So you've got a number of samples, may be used to draw conclusions about an entire population from which the sample data are drawn. Okay? Yes, Amir, it has to be an appropriate sample. So, okay, everybody, when it says it draws from a sample, assume it's an appropriate sample for the question. So, John, when you have a sample and it is the appropriate sample size, you can draw a conclusion about the entire population. Okay? As long as it's the appropriate. So, do you understand that? Okay, good. So basically everybody got it correct. Okay, so the concept of a variable implies that the values of every characteristic of an item are different. And let me get that. Okay, so 1 is true and 2 is false. So the concept of a variable implies that the values of every characteristic of an item are different. Remember, read the question carefully. That's the most important aspect. Okay, John Ramos and John Tran, can you vote, please? John, okay, good. All right. 6 said this is true, and 2 said false. Okay, Noah, can you explain your answer? Noah? Why did you pick number 2? Can you hear me? You could have, okay, so Noah says, I figure you could have nearly every characteristic. Sorry. But 1. Be the same, okay? And Tony, why did you say number 2? Tony? What do you mean implies like variance? What do you mean by variable? I think the variable implies like variance. Okay, you got to be clear. The values of every characteristic of an item are different. Okay. And let me just ask, Brenda, can you specify why you chose true? Brenda? No? Brenda? You have no answer? Roshani? You chose 1. Why did you choose true? Roshani, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so why did you choose number 1? Why did you choose true?
I think that every variables uh, are different according to the characteristic. I just assume like that.
Okay, all right, good, thank you. Okay, so this is where reading the question carefully becomes extremely important. The concept of a variable implies that the values of every characteristic of an item are different. A variable is what you name is usually what you're measuring in something. So if we look at the concept of hair color, okay, the value of the hair color is not always one color, correct? It implies that the value of every characteristic of an item are different. So we can have red, we can have black, we can have blonde, we can have a mix, we can have brown and red, we can have all different kinds of combinations. All right, again, another important aspect. The variable takes on numerous characteristics. It's just the variable is categorizing a certain characteristic, sorry, not a characteristic, something that you're measuring, hair color, weight, height, eye color, okay? So the values will certainly, some of them characteristics will be certainly different, but others may have the same value. So the correct answer is true. Any questions about that concept? All right, so let's move on. So number 11, statistics is the study of numerical measures of the values associated with variables. Is this true or false?
I'm sorry, Professor, but for interrupting, but can I
Yeah.
skip to chapter 2 because I believe myself and everyone else in the room have the problem in chapter 2, and I believe in chapter 6 because I think we can skip chapter 1 because we have only 1 hour left. So
I know, but you know, there's going to be, from now on, we're just doing review. So so far, we've only had a few questions where everybody has gotten it perfect. So are people telling me they're comfortable with chapter 1 and you don't want to review it? You know what?
because I can see here we are at 31 out of 91.
Yeah,
For,
okay.
and it is a long run, so I think we can skip chapter 1 and go to the chapter.
Well, you know what? You know what? Let's see what people say.
Okay.
All right? Okay, you want to vote? How many people want to skip chapter 1? Say yes. And how many people want to not skip chapter 1? Say yes or no. Not in the middle, Wellington. Okay. Well, in this case, the majority says no, we don't skip chapter 1. Okay? If Amir, if you're comfortable with chapter 1, that's fine. All right? But I'm going to go through each of the chapters sequentially. If at some point you want me to move on, we'll have a vote and we'll just move on. All right, so. Okay, all right, so number 11, statistics is the study of numerical measures of the values associated with variables. All right, so let me. So people, if you can vote here, you tell me whether, yes, it's true, or no, it's false. Okay, well, sorry, Tony, can you vote? Are you there, Tony? Can you vote? Okay, oh my God, another split. Okay, so, let's see. Brenda, can you tell me why you said one? Or true? Why statistics is the study of numerical measures of the values associated with variables. You can use your chat if you don't want to speak. Brenda? You realize your answer is false. Okay. John Tran, why did you say this is true? So you're already clapping for you, John. John, no response. Tony, why did you choose true? And Tony is gone. Okay. John Isaac Ramos, why did you choose no? John, can you respond? John Ramos? John Ramos. Oh, anybody else who said no, can you respond to why you said no? Why the answer is false? False because statistics do not only study numerical measures, but all qualitative. More date, okay.
I choose false because like in another question you said like I was confusing like statistics with the science and that, so I
Right.
remember that.
Okay. Okay. So just so everybody's clear, the answer is false. Okay. Statistics is concerned with collecting and analyzing data to help make sound business decisions. Okay. It may sound very picky compared to what the original said. Statistics is the study of numerical measures of the values associated with variables. That is extremely, extremely general. Statistics is concerned with collecting and analyzing data to help make sound business decisions. And this is what I'm trying to emphasize, this point, that when you're going to have the exam, You've got to read the question carefully and understand what the question is asking. Don't use your instinct. Don't use your gut. You want to interpret what the question is asking, and if it's missing information, then it's missing information. And you have to realize that that is on purpose. Okay? So a lot of what goes into understanding in the use of statistics is understanding exactly what is being asked. Okay, so you have to be very careful when you read the questions. Are there any questions about that? No. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so what method is used to sample a population so that it is representative of the population? Okay, we have every other element in a population is chosen. Samples are chosen at random from the population. All but the observations that have the lowest and highest values are selected. Only the first half of a population is selected. I'm going to ask you, you're choosing the best answer to this question. Okay? The most appropriate answer. Okay. All right, John Tran and Tony, please vote. John Tran, please vote. Oh, you haven't voted, John. Okay. Think about sampling techniques. Okay, John. All right, you voted? Or hey, all right. So, John, you said every other element in a population is chosen. What kind of sampling method is that? Do you know what method that is? Is that a sampling method? No. All right, so that is not correct. Okay, and Tony, you said all but the observations that have the lowest and highest values are selected. And why do you think that? Is that representative of the population? Okay, why? Remember, this is statistics. You always ask why. So why is that an appropriate sampling method? So you're only going to choose the observations that are the lowest or are not the lowest or the highest. How do you, okay, why is that a representative? You don't have any lowest or highest value selected. So why is that a representative of the population if you don't choose those? You don't choose the highest or the lowest values? What are you doing, John? Sorry, what are you doing, Tony? Do you know what you're doing? Can someone tell Tony what you're doing if you only take the middle of the observations? You don't take the highest and you don't take the lowest. So now what are you doing? Well, exactly, Amir. You're taking the mean values. So when if you do not take the extremes, either from the low end or the high end, they are part of the data. And when you throw them out, you're already biasing your sample. And what I mean by biasing, you're saying, well, I don't want the high values and I don't want the low values. I only want the middle values. So do you see how that doesn't give you a representation of the general population? Okay, good, good. So the correct answer is samples are chosen at random from the population. Okay, that's the easiest method there is. Random sampling. Okay, any questions about that? No, all right, move on. Okay, so a newspaper advertising sales representative earns a commission on each advertisement sold. This person made $3,000 in commissions during 1 month and concludes that annual compensation will be $36,000. This is an example of nominal data, inferential statistics, secondary data, descriptive statistics. So let me put the poll up. Okay, so decide. Okay, John Tran and Tony, can you vote please? Okay, thank you. All right, so Noah, you said it was nominal data. And why did you pick that answer? Why is that an example? Yeah, why? Okay, yes, I got it. All right, so why is that an example of in nominal data? Oh, you guessed. I don't want people to guess. Okay? This is chapter 1. If you're not sure, go back and read it. Okay? That's an incorrect guess. No. But that's not nominal data, Noah. Right, Brenda? Okay. Fine, great. Okay, Roshani, you said secondary data. Why is this an example of secondary data? A guess. Don't guess, people. Read the questions carefully, because I don't want you to be guessing on the exam. Okay? And Tony, why did you say secondary data? Tony? Tony, are you still there? Oh, okay. Why did you choose number 3, secondary data? Any reason? No. The person, I think you're confused. You're not reading it carefully. This person works at a newspaper, okay? And they're telling you what they're making, so it's not secondary data. Okay, and nobody chose number 4, and that is correct. That is not descriptive statistics. So the correct answer is number 2, and Brenda explained why. All right, and I'll just add that sales commission is a continuous variable, right? And represents a ratio level of measurement. Therefore, you can make inferences from the data. Okay. Are there questions about that? All right. We'll go down to the next one. I hope this is helping. And okay, so primary source data is better than secondary source data. True equals yes, and false equals no. Okay, John Tran, you vote. Okay, thank you. Okay, Amir, can you tell me why you chose true? That primary source data is better than secondary source data.
I would say because primary data, we collect those data and
Sorry, what is it? What is primary data?
the primary data, we collect them, right? So
You collect it, yeah.
yeah, and I think they are more reliable and we have trust in our data because we actually collect them. But when we chose secondary data, we don't know they are reliable or not. So
Okay, why don't you know it's reliable or not?
because you don't know which source, uh, we
Why?
don't know, their sample. We don't know
Okay, wait.
which method they use. So
Hold on. I'm going to ask a general question. Is there anybody here now that has not read a journal article? Anybody in the class right now that has not read a journal article? So everybody has read a journal article? Okay. All right. So you're working on something. You want some sources of data. Are every journal article primary sources of data? I guess that's the question I should ask. Is that true or not true? You may not know this. Okay, I don't think anybody may not be. You think, Brenda, you think what? I think. It might not always be better because sometimes our way of analyzing it. Yeah, okay, but answer if you can answer my question, you answered why you said no, but can you tell me, is every journal article primary source data? Do you know that or not? You may not have read that many articles, but I will just explain to you. There are many. No, they're not, Amir. They are not primary. They are not all primary source. And I will explain. In some journal articles, people have taken the research that other people have done, and maybe let's say there's 10 experiments, and somebody has reviewed all the results from the 10 experiments, and they have analyzed what they did, what the methodology was, what the results were, how they came to the results, and provided a summation. Is that primary source data? Is that the person or people who are creating the journal article? Are they collecting data? No, they are using data that's already been collected. And Brenda and Wellington, you are correct. Okay, everybody else is not correct. All right, so neither primary nor secondary data is intrinsically better. A statistician may be more familiar with primary data, but as long as the secondary data is unbiased, it is as equally as good as primary data. And that is a very important factor to remember. Okay? And Amir, you were correct. I mean, usually, let's just say with 99% confidence, articles that are published in journals are vetted and they are reviewed. And usually articles do not get printed into journals unless they are valid. Okay? So you know what the methodology was. You know how the data was collected. So remember that primary and secondary are not about one is better than the other. It's more about where are you getting this data from? Are you collecting the data yourself, or you're collecting it from somebody else who collected data? That's the important aspect. Does everybody understand that? Any questions about that? Okay. All right, next question. Celsius and Fahrenheit temperature scales are examples of interval levels of measurement. So let me get there. So if you can, so yes is true and no is false. Okay. Okay, Tony, you can vote. All right. So one person said no. John Tran, why is that statement false? What is an interval level of measurement? What is NVM? What does that mean? Sorry. Never mind. Oh, sorry. Thank you. So what are you saying? You don't know? Or are you guessing? Okay. Can someone explain to John what an interval level of measurement is? Anyway, anybody? No one remembers what an interval level is. Okay. All right. Celsius and Fahrenheit temperature scales have an arbitrary 0 point. Yes, it's a scale. And when it has an arbitrary 0 point and are therefore interval scales, because Celsius and Fahrenheit are not, they don't measure with the same numbers, okay? So 0 Fahrenheit is different than 0 Celsius. And you understand how you have arbitrary 0? So the 0 in Celsius does not equal the 0 in Fahrenheit. Any questions about that? No? Okay. Good. All right, we'll go on. Okay. The speed of a race car around a track is a continuous variable represented by a ratio level of measurement. Whoops, let me get the voting thing. Oh, sorry. Okay, so people. So the speed of a race car around a track is a continuous variable represented by a ratio level of measurement. John Tran and okay, Roshani, okay. Okay. Noah, you said that's true. Why is it true? What's the definition of a continuous variable, Noah? An infinite number has a meaningful, right? Okay. So if you're going 0, that's a speed. You're not moving, but it's, right? It's 0. Okay. And Roshani, you said it was false. So why is it false? So you're saying the speed of a race car around a track is not continuous. What is it? If it's not continuous, what is it? What is the measurement? If it's not the ratio level of measurement, what is the speed? What is the category of measurement for the speed of the race car? Roshani? Or John Isaac Ramos? You said no. Why is that? Why is the speed of a race car around a track not continuous? Okay, the 3 people that said no, please explain the answer. Please explain why you said no.
In my opinion, when
Yeah.
the speed of a car is variable, so that's
What do you mean by variable? What do you mean?
no, it's not variable. Sorry, miss. The race car normally don't stay on the same speed. So normally there is
Okay, but
a change in that speed. So it's not keep on the same or growing in the same ratio. For
no, no,
example,
no,
this
no, no.
making a continue.
Wellington, you're interpreting the question. We don't care about the speed of different race cars. It says the speed of a race car. That's all the race cars. Okay? And you're looking at the speed. Is the speed a continuous variable? Can it have any kind of measurement from 0 to infinity?
Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, can.
Okay, so like people, I want to emphasize this. You must read the question carefully. And I think this is where some people are getting tripped up. Read it carefully. It says the speed of a race car. It does not say the speed of race car 1. The speed of a race car. So you're looking at the speed of a race car. Can be any of the race cars. Is a continuous variable, which means it can be any speed between 0, theoretically, between 0 and infinity. and it can be represented by, 2.635 whatever kilometers an hour, or 159.673 kilometers per hour. Therefore, it is a ratio level of measurement. Okay, so those people that said no, do you understand that? Do you understand what the differences are? Are there any questions about that? Yes, it is true, Roshani. Like speed is continuous and zero speed represents no motion. Thus, the speed has a ratio level of measurement. When something has a meaningful zero, it means something. Unlike when we looked at centigrade and Fahrenheit temperatures, it has an arbitrary zero. Okay? Somebody said, "Oh, this is zero here." Like 0 centigrade or Celsius is different than 0 Fahrenheit. So therefore, they are not the same scale. And somebody arbitrarily put a 0. In this case, when it's continuous and the 0 has a meaning. Okay? Is that clear? Everybody get that? All right. Well, let's move on. Okay. The choice of entrees available on a buffet line is an example of a categorical variable measured on a nominal scale. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. Let me see. Okay, John Tran, Noah Humphreys, and Tony. Tony, can you vote? And I hope you're not guessing. Please do not guess. Let's just say next time if you don't know what the answer is, don't vote. Okay. Well, don't guess, John. If you don't know it, you don't know it. All right. So we have 6 people that say it's true and 2 people that say it's false. All right. Let's see. Okay, Amir, why did you say this is true?
I would say because we use nominal scale, nominal data for describing and labeling our data. So if it is in a buffet line, and
Yeah.
so we're gonna use nominal scale, and it is true.
Okay. Anybody else add to that? That voted yes? Okay. Roshani, and why did you say this was false? Is the choice of entrees available on a buffet line an example of a categorical variable? Is that true or not true?
I think the people who are in the line, it's not categorical, so I choose
Not
false.
categorical or it is categorical?
It is not, like they are the general people who stay in
So
the
you have
line.
a choice of food, right? You have a choice of food
Hmm.
in a buffet.
Yeah,
Okay, so what is it then? If it's not categorical of the entrees, your choice, what is it?
it's a or no. Okay.
Sorry, what is it?
No. I was about to say ordinal, but I think it's not. Maybe I get
Ordinal.
confused.
No. What is it? What ordinal means? some order to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're saying it's not categorical. So I guess we lost her. Okay, John Tran, why did you say no? Okay. John Tran, why did you say this statement was false? No answer? Okay. All right. The correct answer, it is true. All right. The number of entrees, it is true that while the number of entrees is numerical, the choice is categorical. Though you might perceive a ranking of entrees, you prefer chicken to fish, different people would have different preferences. Therefore, there's no intrinsic ordinal ranking. Okay? Is that clear? Okay? Because when you're not ranking the food is just there. You're just picking food. Okay? So it's just nominal. All right? I hope that's clear. Okay, we'll just do a couple more here. So, a consumer confidence researcher asked several retailers to report the number of LCD televisions sold during a particular month. These numbers most likely represent what level of measurement? Read it carefully. Report the number of LCD televisions sold during a particular month. These numbers most likely represent what level of measurement? Ratio, ordinal, nominal, or interval? Let me hit the voting. Whoops. Okay. Okay. So Tony, you're not sure, or you don't want to guess? Okay. Okay, this is very spread out. So Amir, you picked ratio. Why?
Because as I said before, ratio has a meaning for zero, and retailers can have a zero sale of
Right?
LCD televisions. So
Okay. All right.
it is more likely to be ratio.
Okay. Brenda and Noah, you both said ordinal. Why did you say ordinal? Either of you? Remember, what does ordinal infer? What do you do when you collect ordinal data? Ah, it's in order, but it's not been asked that, has it? It's just been asked to report the number of televisions sold. So is there any ordinal aspect to this question? No, right, okay. John Isaac Ramos and Roshani and Wellington, you said nominal. Why is it nominal?
I choose nominal because like they want to know how much of the television was sold, so it's a numerical.
But what does the nominal mean? When you do a nominal, when you collect nominal data, what does that mean?
That you put a value in a sample, for example, like how much do you have like from like male or female? So
No, that's incorrect. If you saw what Amir wrote, it's basically labeling. Nominal is labeling and naming the data. Are you doing that here?
no.
No. Okay. Again, I'm going to go back. Read the questions carefully. Okay. And John Tran and Tony, you both said interval. Why is this interval data? Can either of you tell me why it's interval? Are there intervals between the number of televisions sold? If you sell 3 televisions, is that 3 times more than, 2 televisions? No. Okay. Remember, that's what the intervals. Okay, so Amir, you are the only one that said ratio, and that is correct. Okay, and again, I go back to reading the question carefully. Okay, you're just counting the numbers and counting how many there are, how many were sold during a particular month. Any questions about that? Okay, we're going to do one more. That is correct, John. It's ratio. Okay. A student evaluation of teaching effectiveness for a particular course asks students to respond to their level of agreement with several statements according to the scale. 1 is strongly agree, 2 equals agree, 3 is neutral, 4 is disagree, and 5 is strongly disagree. The responses indicate what level of measurement. Let me just get the, whoops. Oh dear. Okay, so if you can vote there. Okay, John Tran and Noah, if you can vote. And if you're guessing, don't vote. Okay, everybody voted? Okay. John, why did you say this was ratio? An example of ratio data. Do you know why it's ratio data? John? Okay. Brenda, you said it was ordinal. Why is it ordinal? Why is this an example of ordinal data? It's a rank, right? What does that mean? It's a rank. You got to be more explicit in your answer. Why is it a rank? You can put it in order from what? From strongly agree, yeah, to strongly disagree. Okay. All right. And 6 of you said that. And Tony, you said it was nominal. Why is it nominal? Tony? It's labeling the choices, yes, but if you look at what it's saying is there's a value associated with the label, correct? Is that correct? Yes. Okay. When you have a value associated with a label, it is no longer nominal. Okay? And Brenda is correct. It's saying 1 has a rank higher than everything else, and 1 is 5 times different than 5, which is strongly disagree. You have strongly agree, neutral, disagree. So these are ranks. There is an order here. Okay. Does anybody have a question about that? All right. So I'm going to stop there. And when I want to, you know what, I'm going to just do a little poll here. And okay, I put up a polling question. Should we continue with the review like this? Going over example questions, discussing them, finding your responses, or do something else? And I know there's only 9 of you, but that's fine, or 8 of you, sorry. I'm the 9th person. Okay, so everybody, oh, so, who said no? Oh, everybody said yes. Somebody changed their mind. Okay, that's a joke, Brenda? Okay. So everybody is okay with this method? All right, but I'd like you, remember these files are on the website. You can go over them yourselves. Okay, what's another approach, Brenda? Give me an example. What else would you like to see? This is for you, remember, you're writing the exam. I'm not writing the exam. So how would you, what other approach would you like to look at? Okay, if you think of something, you can bring it up in the next session, or you can send me an email and then we can talk it on Friday. Okay, Wellington, you had a question?
Yeah, I would like to know if you are going to say about like a review or give us some ideas about the assignment that we need to do.
What do you mean assignment? What assignment?
It's like the data collections, right?
You mean
Case
the
study.
case
Yeah,
study?
thank you. Yeah.
Okay, but you gave me your research proposal, did you not?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
I don't think so. Well, why didn't you? Aha.
I need to know. There's a lot of courses, you know. I'm a little lost, like
Yeah, but
right now.
you know what, Wellington? I send emails out. If it, I can't force you to read them. So what I'd like you to do is to look at the website, look at the case study folder that's on the website, and get back to me with an email about what you understand or you don't understand, and tell me what you'd like to do in terms of the case study. Okay?
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yeah. Now it's clear.
Okay. Okay. So,
Thank you.
all right, you're welcome. So it appears that this is good. I hope people are getting something out of this. We'll finish chapter 1 on Friday and start chapter 2. And as I mentioned in the last class, if you have any questions, and I want to go through it sequentially. If you have questions about other chapters, that's fine. Bring it up when we review it. If you have questions about chapter 1 or chapter 2, bring them up and we'll continue. And again, I'll mention that I have office hours tomorrow from 10 to noon. And if you have any questions regarding the course, the evaluations, whatever you want, please bring them. Amir, yeah, you had a question?
Yes, I do. I want to ask you about, can we start from, for the next class, for the Friday class, can we start chapter 2,
We're
or
going to finish chapter 1 and then start chapter 2.
because I find that chapter 2 is more important than chapter 1.
Okay, that's your opinion, is it not?
It is my opinion.
Okay, remember, this is statistics. We don't deal with opinions, we deal with facts. So the fact is, I have not finished chapter 1, and people asked, we had a little vote, and everybody said just continue. Okay, I'm not sure, let me just double check here.
So can we vote again? So
No. Okay, so we have 31 questions for chapter 1, so we have 12 questions left. So we'll be starting chapter 2 maybe like an hour, around 4 o'clock. Okay? Don't be so anxious.
okay,
So
perfect.
we'll do that on Friday. So if there's no more questions, say have everybody have a good evening and thank you. And again, I have office hours tomorrow from 10 to noon. And if I don't hear from you, then I'll see you on Friday. All right. Okay. Take care.